in today's video, I'm going to be talking about signing clients onto your medical billing business. This was not the planned video for this week, but this week has been so crazy. I am signing on a new provider and things have just really been haywire. I've been so busy. So I haven't even been able to post in the YouTube community tab that I usually post in, if you have noticed, because I try to post every week, but it has been so crazy that I haven't had the chance to do that. But I thought that this video would be helpful or beneficial to those people who were interested in starting a medical billing business, or who actually maybe already have a medical billing business, and it may help them with some things that they may go through. And let me start off with the first point of signing a provider, and that is you never really know the truth. So when you sign on a provider, well, when I sign on a provider, which I would also recommend to those who are signing on providers, I usually have like a consultation with them, a free consultation where we can talk about what their needs are, what's the problem, what they want to accomplish, all of those things. Now, initially when I started out, I never really did this. It was just kind of like, I guess I was so excited to get a client. I just was like, oh yes, I could do your billing. And then I got into it and it was crazy. Now, I always make sure now that I do a free consultation with them where they sign a form, you answer some questions, and then I use that form when we are actually in the meeting. The meeting is either virtual or it's in person, but we usually have like a consultation. And I ask certain questions, try to figure out what's going on. Because a provider can tell you one thing and then it comes out to be a totally, completely different thing. Now, even in doing this consultation, if you don't actually go into the system, look at things, you may still not be getting the complete and total truth. Now, the provider might not be doing that intentionally. Maybe they just don't know sometimes, or maybe they think certain things are one way, but it's something else. So I always recommend that you do a consultation, because even in me doing a consultation with my client, starting to look into their system and seeing how things are, something completely different is going on now. So like I said, you just never know what the truth is until you actually get into the system, see what's needed, see what was happening in the past, and then you can figure out what you will do and what you can't do. Now, sometimes it is, and I wouldn't say too late, but sometimes you have already signed contracts, did all of those things, and you're jumping into something that was not what it was originally when you guys signed a contract. Now, the next point piggybacks off of that one, which I was saying, you ask them specific questions. Now, the questions that you're going to ask all depends on the services that you're going to provide. So if you're not providing, eligibility and verification, you're not going to ask questions pertaining to that per se. You may ask questions if, let's say, you are doing just AR and you want to know how much their outstanding agent is, and you want to know, well, why is it that amount? What are the denial reasons? And they might say, well, it's because of eligibility and verification. And then you can say, well, do y'all have that capability? So you kind of have to work off of what the problem is. Each provider is completely different. That's the other thing that I guess I can say with this. Each provider is different. So the questions that you ask, you can start off with some formal set of questions, but then you might have to branch off into other questions after you've gotten the answer to the question you originally asked. And you have to try and dig deeper so that you can find out what you need to know. It's not just, what do you need me to do? What specialty are you? Like, how much patients do you see? Like, those are questions you can ask, of course, but you sometimes have to go deeper into the questioning because it can get really complicated after a while. So always have a set of questions that you have written down for specific services that you offer so that you can learn more about the provider to see if they are even a good fit in your medical billing business. So in honor of Black History Month, I wanted to mention 5 things that you can support this month that are owned by Black people. And the first one is a book. Now, this book is called The Art of Marketing Your Medical Billing Business. It was written by Tamara. She's a certified medical billing consultant with over 15 years experience in the healthcare industry. I met Tamara on Instagram and we chatted a little bit. And I know she's out there making big moves, marketing her medical billing business and helping others to do so as well. So I wanted you guys to go and support Tamara. I think her book is on Amazon and it can help you with marketing your medical billing business. Now, the second thing is a school. Now, the name of this school is called Inlera University. It is ran by Jasmine Vielez. She is here on YouTube under Inlera University as well. We have done some collabs together and we're hopefully going to do some more collabs in the future. But she talks all things medical billing just like I do. And she comes on live every week speaking about medical billing. She has medical billing courses on her website, Inlera University. And she also has, I think, a medical billing business owner course that she's just launched, I believe. So if you're interested in that, you should check that out. And I'll be sure to link the links that I have below or put it on the screen for you guys. Now, the third one that I have is a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is Ask the Biller. It is ran by Kiana Craig. She is also on Instagram and she has a YouTube channel. And I know that she talks all things medical billing. She does a lot of things on Instagram where she gives out, I think, like gift cards and she does quizzes and all types of things. She's been in the medical billing field for a while, I think probably close to or over 20 years. So she's another person that you can look out. Be sure to support her here on YouTube as well as another Black billing business owner. The fourth one that I wanted to mention was a medical billing consultant. Now, this was actually my consultant, and that's how I got to learn about her. I met her on Instagram, and the name of her business is Fab Consulting. Hi, Natasha. I hope you're watching. I just wanted to shout her out because she has a great business where she helps consult with medical billers or also with providers in reference to building structure and organization. Now, you know, on my channel, I always talk about being organized and being structured and managing your time and all of those things. And she helps the billing business owner structure their business and organize their business. Now, especially when you're starting out, that's the best time to do that because then you don't have necessarily clients to be working around, but you can get your services in order before you actually sign on a client so you won't be running around all frantic and crazy. So check out Fab Consulting because Natasha is wonderful. And last but not least, I'm going to big up myself for my medical billing merchandise. I'm going to leave the link on the screen and below so you guys can check out the medical billing merchandise that I have. I have t-shirts, I have mugs, I have journals, and I'm going to be getting more items. I'm going to be designing more items so I can put on the shop later on, hopefully probably in March. So check that out. I know sometimes when we look for merchandise for medical billers, we always only seem to find things about coding, but I wanted to put out there merchandise that is specifically for medical billers. Now back to the points on signing up clients. My third point is to know your services. It is so easy to try and sign on a client and you say, well, I just want to post payments, if that's what you want to do. I just want to post payments. But then when you start to talk to them, or even after you sign a contract with them, they start to put on or ask you to do so much other things. Because you've already signed them on, or because you want to sign them on, you start to agree to things that was not in the plan in the first place. So what I would recommend is to try to stick firm to what your services are. It's gonna be hard and you're probably going to mess up, or sometimes you might say, well, I'll just do it this one time, and then they might continue to ask you to do it. But I guess as you get practice and as you deal with more and more clients, then you can say, well, yes or no, and be firm with that. But that's one thing you just have to keep in mind. You need to first know what services that you want to provide to the clients. Don't just let them decide what you are going to do, because it might be things that you don't want to do. And then if you decide to do something that is outside of the services that you provide, are you going to charge for it? Are you just going to include it for free? You kind of need to know that in the back of your mind. So if that happens, or I should say, when that happens, you will know how to respond to the provider, and you will feel comfortable responding to the provider. And the last point is to take your losses, whether that is in time or in money. There are going to be times when you either come out on the short end of the stick when it comes to money, or when you come out on the short end of the stick when it comes to time. Especially if you're new at this and this is like your first or second time signing on a client. And sometimes it could be like your fifth or sixth time signing on a client. Sometimes you might just take a loss. You might have a client that you have invested so much time in, maybe you've helped them with certain things for free, and then come to find out maybe they went with another biller. Or maybe you have decided that they're just not a good fit for you. You may have also went through, paying for certain services, maybe paying for a specific software, because not all clients have practice management systems. And so you might have to sign them up in your practice management system, which will mean that you'll have to pay certain fees, maybe for training or for converting information or anything like that. And then you find out later on down the line, or not too long after you've signed them up, that this is just not a right fit. Maybe you don't feel comfortable. Maybe they added on something that you don't want to do. Like, there can be so many scenarios. But my point is to take your losses if you have to. Don't continue to do something that you don't want to do. Because you've signed them up already, don't continue to do it if you don't feel comfortable doing it or if you don't want to do it. Just because maybe you spent, 2 weeks working on this particular client, or maybe you spent $300 to sign them up or to set them up, and now it's just not going how you wanted it to go. Take your losses when you need to. It will be better than having to take that loss way down the line, and it becomes a lot more confusion and a lot more ties together with that client. So I would just say take your losses with money or time at the beginning, so you wouldn't have to do that later on. And be sure to watch this playlist right here. It speaks about stepping out in business. There are 4 videos in the playlist that talks about your mindset. It talks about how much it's going to cost, all of those things. So make sure you check that video out, and I'll see you again in my next video.